Hi, this is Derek, and I am in the process of doing my first yeast starter because I'm going to finally try some White Labs liquid yeast. I don't normally do that. I normally just used pitch dry yeast, but I'm going to try something new this time. And of course, I didn't research out things enough to know that I really had to make a starter. Probably should have gotten more than one of these, and probably need to make more starter than I'm actually going to make. There's a lot of calculators online and a lot of different things out there that complicate things as usual, but of course in the long run will make things better, I'm sure. So I'm going to, after reading enough around, I'm pretty much just going to follow the tips that White Labs has on their site. They have a little starter tips recipe that's kind of really basic, but after running a few calculators, I think I probably need to make more based on the gravity of the beer I'm going to make. But I'm going to pretty much just follow these tips this time around. And the only other thing I'm going to do is add some yeast nutrient, which I've read about, and actually our local homebrew store mentioned to me to try. So that's kind of what the plan is going to be. Never done it before, so we'll just see how it goes. So per the White Labs homebrewer starter tips, we're supposed to get 2 pints of water that are here, and which is 2 pints is a quart, and we're supposed to then use a half a cup of dried malt extract, and they mentioned a light, so the homebrewer shop mentioned to use a golden light DME, so that's what we're going to use. And as I said, I read online about using some yeast nutrients, and also our local homebrew shop mentioned it, so that says 1 teaspoon per gallon, so we use a 1/4 teaspoon of that. So basically we're going to get these 3 items here, to a boil. It says for about 10 minutes to sterilize. Then we're going to cover and cool the pan to room temperature in an ice bath. And once we get it cooled down to the right temperature, we're going to then pour that into a sanitized container and pitch the vial of yeast, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to get everything combined now. Okay, so here's our half a cup of light dry malt extract. And we'll put our 1/4 teaspoon of nutrient in there. Okay. And our 2 pints of water. At this point, we're supposed to bring it, mix it well, and bring this solution to a boil for about 10 minutes. Here we go. Now just coming up to boil. Once we get a good rolling boil, we'll let it go for about 10 minutes. Okay, our 10 minutes is up, and I've sterilized my lid, and I'm going to cover the wort, and then they say to put it in an ice bath. So that's what I'm doing here. Let it cool. It just says to room temperature. I'm assuming that's between 70 and 75 because that's what you're supposed to pitch that stuff at anyway. So that's what I'm going to do. And we'll get it tested there. Make sure that you're going to pre-sterilize things. I've already pre-sterilized my thermometer, the outside of the White Labs container, just to be sure. You need some foil to cover the jar that I've sanitized. So I've sanitized both of those as well. So you may want to get all that stuff done. Okay, this thing's definitely cooled down quick. I had to add a lot of ice to it, but looks like we're around 72, so it's perfect. So I'm going to pull that out real quick, and we'll get ready to add it to the jar. Okay, let's get this transferred over. Alright, now you can instructions say we need to really shake up the yeast. And once we're done there, we got to slowly open it up so it doesn't foam up. And it did. I did it slowly, but it still foamed. But lucky I'm over my giant jar. And I guess lucky I sanitized this whole container. Okay, now we're just cover it with our sanitized foil. Still gotta let, you know, everything escape. So you do want to seal it, but you're gonna have some, keep things like you would anything else because you can't fit an airlock on this guy. So just really aerate the heck out of it. And they talk about if you have a stir plate, which I don't, then you're supposed to set this thing at room temperature. Right now it's real hot where I am, so I'm going to take it into the basement. And you just need to come by and stir it quite often and let it sit like for 18 to 24 hours. The other reason I forgot to mention why I also wanted to do this was because when this was shipped to me, I didn't buy it local. It was supposed to come with an ice pack that I paid for, and they forgot to put the ice pack. So it's, you know, roughly 85 degrees the entire trip, plus of course what the trucks were at. So I was a little bit concerned about that as well. I don't know if it's really a concern after really reading more about it. It was only in 2 days from point A to point B, but just to be sure. So that was the other reason why I wanted to do a starter. Okay, I think we'll call that good for now. We'll set it, and we're just going to keep stirring it from time to time, and we'll check it as we go. So this is where we add about 7 hours later with our starter. Definitely got activity. Looking pretty good. So this is at about 15 hours, and everything's looking great. So I did shake it up. Everything, again, I've reread a few things, and they say, you know, every hour or so you should be shaking this thing up. So I gave it another good shake again and get the oxygen up a level. And we'll see how it goes. So hopefully we'll be brewing, we're brewing today, so we'll be pitching this today. Hopefully it's going to be enough cell count. Again, the more I read, the more I'm thinking this thing should have had a higher, you know, I should have done everything a little bit bigger. So we'll see.